we have the approval of policy committee meeting minutes from 2/26/26. We need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I will second that. So we have a motion for the approval of the policy committee meeting minutes from 2/26/26. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Should we table the financial
No, I
report?
can do the financials, I'm sorry, this was messed with. Not a great picture, but okay. A little angled, and I'm recording the live streams not working either, so apparently technology, the leprechauns have gotten the technology here, so we are live recording, and I will just have to post it tomorrow.
I don't have my green on.
Yes, financials, so let me go to my other account. Sorry. So Jeff Genovese, because of the rescheduled meeting, is at the Yorkville meeting right now, and he'll be here as soon as he can. Hopefully we can go through and wrap up our meeting with us here. But we had our financial committee, and the finance committee goes through the entire packet, so we're all pretty well versed in what was shared as we prepped for this meeting. In terms of this month's financials, the cash disbursements, there was nothing out of the ordinary on the cash disbursements list here. It's got the wire transfers listed, mostly payroll presenting itself here in 2 batches. And then on the next page, we did receive the February tax settlement. So you'll notice that the tax settlement is here on this page. That's really not very clear. Okay, awesome. So the February tax settlement is in there, which is our biggest payment that's left here before the August payment. So it's important to note because, again, we get money in chunks. We don't get it all throughout the year every month. So we also had a transfer. You'll notice at the bottom of this page, the transfer of the WISC investment of $400,000. So we have the WISC, which is a long-term investment vehicle that gives us stability and growth. And so we've got a $1.4 million now. You'll notice that on the next page that is in investment earning interest, which is the best place for it to be, which is always a positive. In terms of the checks, you'll notice it's a normal run for the monthly checks. Some of the larger payouts, health insurance on there, making sure we pay out our education, the retirement monies as well that are due to our staff. So some of those larger payouts worth noting. Again,
I
healthcare.
have a question.
Yep.
I was looking through this, and PAT Services is the,
Pumping.
Pumping, sewer pumping.
Yep. Our septic pumps, and that's not necessarily 1 month's cost. Depending on when the bill comes in, it could be a combined bill from
Okay.
a prior month. But
Okay.
we do spend about $10,000 annually for pumping, and it's something we're going to be looking at as we look at the feasibility study because we feel like that's a little high.
Yeah.
And so there's got to be something going on with our 50-year-old tanks that I mentioned a few meetings ago, but that's part of our study.
Or they just may be higher than,
They could be more expensive, but I think it's also probably related to some leakage from some groundwater or something getting
Yeah.
there. They're feeling like something
Yep,
maybe
fill
getting
them
in.
up.
So filling them up faster than we're pumping them up. We're not producing that much.
We know
A
that.
lot of little bodies here, but they're not
Yeah.
making that much. So, there you go, good visual
How
for
did we
you.
get into that?
I don't know. Somehow it all goes back to poop. So, you'll notice here in our monthly accounting, this is our WISC investment account. We initially we put $1 million into this account. Again, this is our long-term investing account, so it helps us make a little interest on our money while we have it at these different points in the year. I want to point out, just because we have $1 million doesn't mean we're just sitting on it and we are cash rich. We are not. This is all accounted for between now and August. This money will be spent down as we have monthly expenses. So it's kind of like just because you got paid on payday doesn't mean you're sitting there with wealth and you can spend it however you want. It's all earmarked. But in the meantime, whatever we can put into that account to make interest is important. So you'll notice the ending balance. We really earned $3,207 since we opened up this account, which is good. It's just for putting money there. It's not bad to have it earning thousands. So you'll see this adjust month to month. Since opening the account, we've earned 4114, because we put $1 million in initially, and then we put 400,000 in again last month. So we're at 1.4 million earning interest. The next sheet is really, really tiny, and it's even probably, wow, I can't even read anything up there. You'll notice on this particular report, which is in the board packet, which was at the back table, there is borrowing. So in other words, we have borrowed $842,000 to date. That's what we owe in August. We are not anticipating borrowing more than that between now and August, so we are happy with that number. Remember, we were approved to borrow 1.2 million, so to come in at 842 versus 1.2 is a good spot. We've also earned some interest, accrued interest, 19,000 that Jeff wanted me to point out. That's about a third of the way down the page. I'm not sure what that interest is for, but actually, I'm sorry, that interest is the cost of our borrow. So we will pay about $19,000 in interest on that particular borrow of 842,000. That's the interest it costs us. What's the cost of short-term borrowing? Right there. When you look at the next sheet, this is our Fund 21. The Fund 21 is unique, and that's sort of like our cash in, cash out account. So we have the Square concessions are held there. School store we have for 8th grade that does school store. So it's sort of our in-out account. It's going to be a flowy account that way, and so nothing particular this last month. There were some larger deposits, had some good concessions, sales with our games, so nothing too out of the ordinary. The next one is our monthly cash flow. So I will try to turn this, because it shouldn't be sideways, or we can all turn our heads. The cash flow, remember, the yellow is the year that we're in, so March 2026 is where we're at with this. Let me change the view, zoom, rotate. Come on. That doesn't help me much. Not sure why it's not showing up here. So, turn your head sideways and enjoy. Basically, if you look at our cash flow for the month, this is where he's coming up with his month-to-month expenses for us, and we're exactly where we need to be. We're based on his projections. The yellow section on this particular file is based on what he predicts our bills will be for the month. The month-to-month comparables are the next chart, and again, I apologize, I'm not sure why this is sideways, but here we are. Come on, this is driving me crazy here. Let's turn it. Well, anyway, our month-to-month, February, again, we learned that because of last year's borrowing snafu that we had a different set of numbers and expense this time last year. So when you compare this February to last February, it looks very different because we had a giant amount of money we had to come up with to pay off for the loan that we didn't pay in September. So we didn't pay it in fall, then we had to pay it back in January, and that used all of our cash, and then we had the short-term, I'm sorry, not short-term borrowing, we had the state trust fund loan borrowing that carried us through last year. So this year is not really the cleanest comparison, 2025 to 2026. The visual, again, available in the packet, just shows sort of the ebbs and flows of our cash flow. We are at a cash-rich spot right now. That's why we're investing in an LGIP. But that cash-rich is on paper only. We are not loaded. We are definitely in a spot where we're managing our money and getting the most interest we can out of it over the summer. And then our financial expenses, the next report, which is multiple pages. Jeff just wanted you to know that obviously he's feeling like we're exactly where we need to be in terms of our finances for the year. So we're presenting our budget as, working it through and balanced, performing fine. Jeff will be here at the end of the meeting if you have any questions about it. He does have the final sheet here listed as our fund balance, and remember our fund balance kind of is going to ebb and flow a little bit as we go through our month-over-month expenses. You're gonna see that amount of money in our fund balance change. And so right now, we're looking at about 6.86% in our fund balance, which is better than last year. We anticipate that number also coming up as the year finishes, because we should finish ahead on our expenses. So, any other questions about the budget before you approve?
We're improving on the, what we just said, 6.8% or whatever.
The overall fund balance is up a little
Fund
bit.
balance. We wanted to be at like a 10, 15, wasn't it?
20 is kind of the
20.
goal. I think we'll
Yeah,
end the
so
year
at least
probably,
we're-
it's trending upward, but it's also not quite where it needs to be because the year hasn't performed yet. So once it performs, we'll know where we sit with the budget. So,
But at least we're making some improvement.
yep.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the financials as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We don't have a student showcase tonight because of volleyball.
Yes, several of the performers that were in the state competition are performing or are competing in the volleyball match.
Okay.
So multi-talented kids. And Mr. Cole is our volleyball coach, along with the musician.
Oh,
He's the band director.
He's John Lennon and a volleyball coach. Who knew?
good.
And you enjoyed it?
And he enjoys it.
Oh, gotta love them.
We move to the public portion of the meeting.
We have no public comments.
Okay, no public comments.
Okay.
Okay. We move to district business, and I believe,
Yes.
Patty
Patty Rita
Patty.
is here from Lucida.
from Lucida.
Is that just how it goes? Lucida, Rita, you gotta like rhyme the last names? Is
I
that-
think I had my last name before they named Lucida, so
Okay.
yours first.
I think you did, all right. So thank you.
So I'll quickly go over the management letter from the prior year, and then I'll do a brief summary of the audit report.
Sure. You want to actually maybe speak into the mic, just in case anybody wants to pick up
Sure.
the vibes
Do
you're
we
laying
have a
down?
copy of the audit report?
You had a copy, it was presented about 1 month ago.
Okay, thank you. It's in my backpack.
The district had one material weakness in 2025, and that was for material audit adjustments, but I did want to note that there were fewer material audit adjustments, and they were smaller in dollar amount than they were in the 2024 audit. So there was significant improvement with the adjusting entries during 2025. There are two significant deficiencies, one for segregation of duties and one for preparation of the financial statements. Those two are generally going to be always with the district of your size because you do not have the staff capabilities to have appropriate segregation of duties or the expertise for writing financial statements as are required by GASB. There was a finding for state per pupil aid, which I have to say is the first finding I've seen in that area in 20 years, and it's generally not on the district. DPI had a different count for the average students than was the actual for the district over the last 3 years. So when that was calculated, it was reported to DPI that there was an error. In testing special education, there was one substitute paraprofessional that was not appropriately licensed. So Jeff was working on obtaining appropriate licenses for all of the staff for 2026. We would like to again stress the importance of internal controls over IT and cyber attack. Those are still occurring very frequently. We've been under attack ourselves recently with a number of emails coming through that look legitimate from clients and they're actually not. So the district needs to be aware that their IT is extremely important and their cybersecurity is very important as well. During our testing of credit card receipts, we noted a couple of instances where receipts were not available to back up the purchases. So even though an expenditure was included on the credit card receipt, we like to see that a receipt is turned in by the individual who made the purchase. And during our testing, there were some voided checks And a district should really hang on to their voided checks and completely mark them as voided and keep them in a file. Does anyone have any questions about the management letter comments?
I do have a question.
Yes.
You were talking about a fraud or cyber emails or whatever, spam emails. What would they look for in emails that come to the district?
I actually just got a call from a client on Monday that she had received an email from me on Saturday asking her to sign something, and it was my email address. And I told her no, I did not send her an email on Saturday, so please don't open it. Our IT got in touch with their IT, and they were working to see if they could figure out where it was coming from. But we have had a number of those in the past probably 2 months. And a number of our clients have as well received the same type of emails. They're asking you to verify something or to sign something. So if you're ever unsure, please call the individual that sent you the email and confirm with them that it was sent out and it was something that they wanted you to sign or to open.
So you cite that in your summary, right, for us? How do you even prevent or protect yourself against that?
There's
We all
cyber,
get 'em.
there's cyber training. We actually take cyber training 4 times a year.
Okay.
There's a company out there that puts together a presentation and kind of shows you what to look for. Hover over the address line. Be careful of anything with an attachment unless you know who it's coming from and why you're expecting it.
Okay.
Those are the biggest thing is
So it's
opening
basically
attachments.
training. You
Pardon me?
can't- It's basically training.
Yes.
You can't really do much with regards to your IT side of things. I mean, as far as malware or anything like that.
If your system is password protected and only certain individuals have access to that, it goes a long way in helping, but the biggest risk is through emails.
Yeah, okay. So basically training. Okay.
Any big organization's going through that right now.
Small ones are getting hit quite hard too.
So would you say the audit that we did better this year than last year?
For record-keeping purposes, absolutely.
Okay, good. And were there any other difficulties that you encountered while doing the audit?
No, everything that we requested was provided to us. The administration was very forthcoming with any information that they had that we requested. An audit involves a lot of different sections. We go through cash, we go through DPI compliance, we go through state or federal single audit. In 2024, the district was required to have a federal single audit because of the dollar amount that they had received. They were not required to have that again in 2025, and it's unlikely they'll be required to have it again. The limits are increasing from $750,000 to $1 million for this coming school year. And generally, districts the size of Raymond don't get that much in federal funding in a year to require a federal single audit.
Okay.
How does our internal controls and in general the audit compare to similar sized districts?
I'm not sure what you're looking for a comparison.
Well, I mean,
As
we
far
found
as
a few things,
cooperation
but I mean,
or,
we have controls, right?
yes.
Financially, and how does our controls compare to some other schools, systems, or districts that are of same size? Did
They're
we do
very
better?
comparable. They're very
Okay.
comparable to districts your size. The larger a district, the more individuals they generally have in an accounting department
Right.
that are able to segregate duties and separate accounts payable from receipts, from reconciling cash, a separate person for payroll. So districts this size just simply don't have that requirement to have all those people. So the best thing that you can do when you have an issue with segregation of duties is to just do what you're doing here, and the board reviews the expenditures, they review the cash receipts, so they can see on a month-to-month basis what's coming in and what's going out. and have the ability to question the individual that's preparing those documents about individual transactions and say, hey, you know, I don't really get this, can you explain it to me?
And then I do have, to piggyback on that, you had mentioned that there were receipts missing for purchases, but that you saw the purchases, but there wasn't, we didn't have a lot of that, I would
No, you didn't. So we generally test 2 months of credit cards, so that would not just be like a credit card, but if you have like an Ace Hardware account.
Right.
Or somewhere where you go and you put something on credit for the district. We go through in those 2 months, and every transaction that's on those 2 months, we look for a receipt attached to the credit card saying, here it is,
this
here's
is
the
what it was
receipt for
bought
the
for.
purchase, this is what's on the receipt. So we mention it if it's greater than 10%. So if you had a $100 credit card bill and you were missing one receipt for $10, we would mention it.
Okay,
It comes up.
but nothing to be,
We have curbed our credit card usage significantly.
Okay,
because
thank you.
We're doing better within our PO system and the way that Jeff pays bills now with ACH, and it's just been substantially different. His approach, any admin person here can tell you that he's definitely saying the word no a lot more, like, let's just set this up and bill pay versus paying it with a credit card, so that's a good practice.
Absolutely.
And I feel like we've really curbed that significantly, so we don't anticipate that being an issue in the future, but certainly always something that's a challenge because there's a lot of receipts flying, so.
yes,
All right.
thank you.
You're welcome.
With all the changes in DPI right now and legislation and everything, what are the biggest red flags in the state right now? And are we like really worried about any of those red flags?
As far as DPI red flags, I don't think there are really any out there. I've been in the business for 18 years doing audits for school districts and municipalities, and the largest thing we hear is there's not enough money for the public. So between municipalities' taxes and school district taxes and the levy limits, you hear a lot that is difficult to perform with increased prices when your levy limits keep you under a certain dollar amount. Anything else with DPI, you hear back and forth that this grant will be stopped or that grant will be stopped, but then there's generally another one that comes down the pipes. So I've also heard that for 18 years, and there's not been really a significant change in total dollar amounts coming through. Does that help at all?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just like the red flags, you know, like, we've got the red flag with, the segregation of duty and stuff like that.
Every
You know.
district that I audit
Right.
has
But, like,
that.
statewide, what are the biggest ones you see statewide, those red flags that it seems like everyone gets or doesn't get, or?
The financial statement preparation and the segregation of duties are the largest. More frequently, I'm seeing issues with reconciliation of cash. So I can't stress enough the importance of reconciling your bank accounts every single month. And there are some entities that don't do that, and it becomes extremely difficult to get through an audit if the cash isn't reconciled.
We have improved our cash reconciliation process a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Since
it was
Jeff-
reconciled at June 30th this last year.
Yes, and so it's really been, it's hard because again, one person, one bookkeeper, all the stuff that goes on in that office is hard, so trying to create those duties across a couple people. Natalie's role has changed and she's helping with some of the things when it comes to, you know, gathering information, credit card receipts, whatever it may be, to help with the reconciliation of credit cards each month, and so trying to have multiple people help, it's been an improvement, so.
Have you always, how long have you been doing Raymond's audits, and does that ever change, or have you been doing
Me personally or Lucida?
you?
I was involved in the field work for the 2024 audit. I had a staff member perform the audit in 2025. I did not come out to do field work, but I will be coming out again for the 2026 audit for field work.
Pat, are there any standards that are changing with GASB?
Thank goodness, I think we might have a free year.
Oh. Awesome.
It seems like every year there's something new that we have to come up with. GASB 103 is the next one that's going to affect school districts, and the biggest things to look for with that are unusual transactions, infrequent and unusual transactions, the way they want them split out and reported differently. And the other part is where the budget to actual appears in the financial statements, but in our financial statements, they already appear where they're supposed to appear with the new GASB standard.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Nope.
No, you've been very helpful, thank you.
Okay, and for a brief summary of the audit report, the district received an unmodified opinion, which is a clean opinion. There were significant improvements in the accounting records from a prior year. The general fund increased fund balance by $451,422. They decreased their short-term debt borrowing by $250,000, but they increased long-term borrowing by $900,000. So that was the state trust fund loans that you had mentioned, but it did decrease the short-term borrowing. Debt service fund remained the same at $148,257. The special revenue fund increased $26,094 in 2025. Total revenues for the general fund were $73,908 greater than budget. Total expenses were $150,917 less than budget. And operating transfers out were $64,752 less than budget. So the transfers to the special education fund seem to be where the issue is with budgeting and affording the cost of special education, which is not unusual. During 2025, the district significantly improved budget to actual performance. And we went over the management letter, so we went over the comments from the prior year and the current year.
Can I just ask a question about our debt service? You talked a little bit about the amount we paid out and the amount we took on for debt.
Yes.
What's our remaining borrowing capacity looking like? I mean, in terms of options.
If you give me a second, I'll look in the financials. Your debt limit at the end of 2025 is $36,794,538, and your long-term debt obligation was $1,900,000. So hypothetically, there's $34,894,538 that could be borrowed. I would not recommend going up to your limit. I think you'd be paying more in interest than you would any other expense of the district. But the borrowing limit is that high, $36,794,538.
The reason why I mention that is just because we're looking at considering a capital improvement plan or referendum in the near future. So does that position us in a spot where that could be possible?
Yes. And referendum debt is outside of your levy limits, so that doesn't affect the revenues that would be available for general operations.
Okay.
That was a great question.
Do you have another question?
No.
No? Okay. Anybody else? Thank you, Pat.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming out. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a little hairy last night.
That's it.
Or this morning.
Thank you.
So that recap that is that available to us and to our,
Should be,
I don't have an electronic format, but if Mike would like to make photocopies.
Sure.
I would
The,
like a copy of that recap.
the management letter should have been in each one of the packets.
Yeah, the management letter, yes, but that just, the notes for maybe what you said. Could one of you maybe take a picture of this with your phone? be helpful. Thanks.
I appreciate that, thank you, Patty.
Thank you. We appreciate the work with the audit. Thank you.
Yes, very much. It's just that, this period.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
All right, we move to B, update on feasibility planning and the task force development.
Yes, we have been meeting with Nexus very often. They were here all day Friday, and they were here for half of the day today. When I say they, it's various engineering firms and groups. Anecdotally, Bob, Mr. Bob, the famous, who did all this work with Bray at in 2022, the last time we had a feasibility study, his involvement and feelings thus far are significantly better around the process with Nexus.
The more detail.
He is saying, I wish I could have had the ability to share what I'm sharing with the last group. So he's very happy with, they come armed with cameras and ears, and they listen, and they're taking in every possible situation here. It's going to be interesting to see how they can make this overwhelming list of needs and things. Needs, wants, all of it, dial in on a specific list, but that's where the board comes in and the feasibility study comes in. So we had meetings today for electricity, for example. The mechanical electrical engineers were here for the morning, and they walked in the nooks and crannies that I've never seen. And so it's good to have those conversations about what we need and moving forward what we need to be up to code with things. So the feasibility planning and task force is coming together. So we have a public link out there on the website. Anyone can sign up. There's no secret. We're not turning really anybody away. They've got to have a reason for wanting to be on it, but aside for that, they can come to the meetings. The board is committed to finding people as well that they can have on the feasibility study, because again, we want to really engage this as much as possible. We want other perspectives to see what we're missing. Additionally, tomorrow we'll be having all staff engage in the Nexus survey during our staff meeting. So we will have a 100% return rate because our staff need to engage what's working in the building, what's not working in the building. It's talking about things like temperature, comfort, room layout design, overall building layout design, just getting their idea, their senses about it. And then there's individual opportunities as well throughout this process. So we hope to have a meeting in late April, early May as our first feasibility task force. And the board is invited to be there, engage as much as you want, but really I think it's about listening and gathering, trying to be on the outside looking in, and so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I want to be really clear with the public. We accept any backgrounds and experiences. In fact, if you have no experience, come on board. We'll teach you. We want you to learn what this is all about here. So that's where it's at. We're going to continue to work with Nexus.
Do they need to be a resident?
They should be a resident or an employee, yes. Because obviously we're looking to inform the community we're working within here, so. That's where we are with feasibility.
Okay. All right, well then that'll roll us right into the request for an approval by Nexus.
Yes.
For a small unmanned aircraft system.
Last year, the drone, yes. Last year, you're part of the committee, Audrey, that, passes policy. And you and Mike and I had a little chuckle like, they have a drone policy now. When will we ever use that? Well, we will.
Yeah.
So Nexus wants to do a flyover to just take aerial footage. What we would do is put out a notice. Any neighbors we can talk to that we know of, we'll just let them know, hey, if you see a drone zipping around, don't do anything to remove it from the air. We'll call it removing it from the air.
Will someone be from the district with them when
Yes,
they do it?
Bob will be with them.
All right.
Bob's going to get some really good Nexus swag out of all the work he's doing with Nexus. So he'll be present. He's there for every time that they are. Over break, they will be here as well doing interior scans, 360 scans of the entire building, so he'll be here over break too. But this particular request is for the unmanned aircraft systems, probably on a day when kids aren't here. so over break. So that way there's not gonna be the interruption, although kids would think it's super cool to watch that little spacecraft go up there. So
Might be an invasion.
we would just need a motion to approve the ability for Nexus to do an aerial footage.
I'll make a motion to approve the drone.
I'll second. Oh, good.
We have a motion and a second to approve the flyover of the drone. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we move on to our Neola Policy Batch 35-1, first
Yes.
read. Good luck, Mike.
I get to be nice and boring here and read off a bunch of numbers. All right, we've got our batch for the first read. I don't know if I really, should I just give the report now for our committee meeting before I start the read?
Sure, that's
or-
fine, yep.
I mean, we had our meeting 2 weeks ago. We caught up with our rep from Neola. We had about a 2.5, almost 3 hour meeting, I believe. We went through all of these policies to get approved. They're from batch 35-1. Plus, I think there's a couple extra ones that we added in there, getting things done, getting caught up. With all the work that we have done, I know that with the past policy committee and now the new committee with with Audrey, we've done a lot of catching up over the last couple of years. We were about 3 or 4 years behind on policies, I believe we were for a while there. We are now caught up and within the top 10% of the state on our policies. So we are completely caught back up, and one of the people that are actually getting policies coming in now, as they come in, instead of going back a year or two and then redoing them 2 years later. So it's happy to report that we are all caught back up on that. With that being said, we have a very large number of policies to do our first read for. First is Act 57, Annual Parental Notice. Policy 1213, 3213, and 4213, Student Supervision and Welfare is revised. Policy 8462, Child Abuse and Neglect revised. Policy 6605, Crowdfunding revised. Policy 6608, Accountability and Oversight of Fundraiser and Crowdfunding Disbursements is new. Policy 6610, Non-District Supported Student Activity Accounts revised. Policy 7230, Gifts, Grants, and Bequests revised. Policy 9211, Student Support Organizations is rescinded. Policy 9215, School Support Organizations renumbered replacement. Policy 9700, Relations with Non-School Affiliated Groups revised. Policy 9700.01, Advertising and Commercial Activities revised. Bylaw 100, Definitions revised. Bylaw 142.7, Orientation revised. Bylaw 1445, Board Members' Behavior, Communications, and Code of Conduct revised. Policy 1210, Board District Administrator Relationship revised. Policy 1230.01, Development of Administrative Guidelines revised. Policy 140, Evolution of the District Administrator revised. Evaluation, sorry.
I'm evolved though, too.
You have evolved a lot over the last, but yes, it is evaluation. Policy 1231.01, Reading Instructional Goals in Kindergarten Assessment revised. Policy 2261.01, Parent and Family Engagement in Title I Programs revised. Policy 2431, Interscholastic Athletics revised. Policy 4140, Termination and Resignation revised. Policy 5112, Entrance Age revised. Policy 5135, Student Identification Numbers and Cards is new. Policy 5136, Personal Communication Devices revised. Policy 5411, Third Grade promotion and retention at-risk students, revised. Policy 5514, use of personal transportation devices, replaced. Policy 5515, student use and parking of motor vehicles, revised. Policy 5895, student employment, rescinded. Policy 6152.01, waiver of school fees or fines, revised. Policy 6320, purchasing, revised. Policy 7540.01 or 02, digital content and accessibility, replacement. Policy 7540.08, artificial intelligence, AI, is replacement. Policy 0141, number, is a technical correction. Policy 0142.2, qualifications of board members, technical correction. Policy 0145, board member anti-harassment, is a technical correction. Policy 1213, student supervision and welfare, technical correction. Policy 3213, student supervision and welfare, technical correction. And policy 4213, student supervision and welfare, technical correction. Policy 2464, advanced learning instruction, gifted and talented, is a technical correction. Policy 4120, employment of support staff, technical correction. Policy 5111.01, homeless students, technical correction. Policy 5113.02, intra-district safe schools transfers options. Geez, why can't I spit that one out? This is a technical correction.
Reading for a half hour, so.
Right. That's a lot more reading than I'm used to doing out loud. Where are we back to? Policy 5330, administration of medication. Administration of medication, emergency care, technical correction. Policy 5461, children at risk of not graduating from high school, technical correction. Policy 5505, academic honesty, technical correction. Policy 5610, suspension and expulsion, technical correction. Policy 5780, student parent rights, technical correction. Policy 6144, investment income, technical correction. Policy 6152, student fees, fines, and charges, technical correction. Policy 7440.01, video surveillance and electronic monitoring, technical correction. Policy 8410, crisis intervention, technical correction. Policy 8420, school safety and reporting of crime statistics, technical correction. Policy 8450.01, personal protective equipment during pandemic, epidemic events, technical corrections. Policy 8451, head lice, I'm not even going to try to say it.
Tuberculosis.
Yeah. Ed was waiting for that one. That's a technical correction. Policy 8462.01, threats of violence, technical correction. Policy 8660, transportation by private vehicle for district-sponsored activities or trips, technical correction. Policy 9151, use of cameras and other recording devices in locker rooms, technical correction. And policy 9800, high school diplomas to veterans, technical correction.
Good job.
There was a lot, and it was a lot.
So the good news is next month, you can just approve the policies as written
Yeah.
in the batch. So,
Right. Well, I remember a couple times, we read through them like that. Then the next time we would read all the numbers again, but we wouldn't have to read everything.
yeah,
I am so glad we're starting to streamline this a little bit and getting used to it and getting used to policy changes.
Are these
Yes.
from just this year, or are these?
this is
catch-up?
from the first, well, there's some catch-up in there. We've had catch-up in every round we've done since I got here.
Right.
Now we're getting to the current. So the next batch is 35-2, which comes out in, like, later this year, May.
They say like
So it's
May.
still
May,
a bunch of them.
There will be new policy in May, and then we'll approve that over the summer. A lot of the policies we approved today have must-pass dates of July 1 of this year. Others will transition out and be July 1 of next year.
And even some of these ones that we were going through and just updated, the update came out in February, and we're
Right.
already on it now.
Right.
So
So there's-
we're,
I guess my question is this something we could do every other year, or is it something we need to do every year?
It's something we should probably keep up with every year. You can pull back on the number of times you meet, and that'll lower your cost.
Yeah.
Because we meet twice a year, we have had to meet more than twice a year because of the number of policies we were tardy on. So I think if we can get to a spot where we're once or twice a year, that's better.
All right, that's all I said.
So the cost for Neola,
It's about $4,000 annually.
so does it matter how many times he comes?
That's pretty much like two policy update meetings like we've had, and then two like intermittent. So if we go down to one and we handle them all in one, it should cut our cost.
Okay,
So,
so there's no action needed for this? Since the
Not this month.
Second read will be next month.
yes.
All right, next we move to a lottery date for open enrollment.
Yes, so lottery date for open enrollment will be May 4th. That's the date of our board workshop. So the first part of the board workshop will be Jeff, myself, and our admin team literally on a live stream for only that portion of the meeting for the lottery. And we haven't done a lottery in the past because we haven't had open enrollment functioning in that way here. We have a policy that's always had a lottery process, that if we have more kids than seats, which is a good problem, right? You have more people want to come in than you have seats for. You have to do a lottery process with integrity to make sure you're not favoring. Now, our policy does cover that siblings would be entered through open enrollment. So if you are a kid here in open enrollment and you have a sibling, you are getting into open enrollment. If you are not, then you're put into the lottery, and the lottery has a process. So on May 4th, we'll have a very quick first part of the meeting, that's our lottery. It'll follow the process. It'll be live, so that way there's no one that's going to question, when their ticket was called. And we'll step it through, and that'll create a list for us for students that are coming in through open enrollment. Okay? That's in alignment with our policy. All right, so May 4th is the date for that.
Okay. We move to committee reports. First, curriculum. We didn't have a meeting this month. Second, facilities.
Let's see here. We didn't have one this month, so
Okay.
we moved it out.
Yep, and then you're attending the Nexus meetings as available.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, then we'll move to finance, which you can take, Ed.
Basically,
It's just you, right?
yeah, basically it was a review of what Mike presented tonight. There was no real questions. It was just the fact that we got the money from our second installment, and Mike had invested it, or Jeff invested it, so that we're getting interest. And that was about it.
Okay. Personnel meeting, or personnel committee reports
It's today.
was today, so we don't have anything on that.
We reviewed the handbook, and so I think we're just going to look for next month to approve the handbook.
Policy?
pretty much what I just said. We had our meeting, we caught up, did really well, and the big thing is being in that top percent right now, I think, of being caught up on policy, because it was, I got on board 3 years ago, I think it is now, and we were way behind. And the last couple of years, we've done a lot of work, and I think that should be really good that our policies are up to date and caught up for the school district, and shows we're getting caught back up with things.
Good job, Mike. And Audrey.
Okay. Move to administrative reports.
Yes,
Prince, you're up.
yeah. Our PTO auction was awesome. It was a really great, the weather held, so it was rainy but not snowy. And then, of course, we followed that by a snow day, which all the people involved in the auction appreciated because they were exhausted. A lot of setup. We have a lot of numbers flying around right now, but it's going to be north of $40,000 raised,
Yes.
which is awesome. We don't
It's
exactly
amazing.
know, but I know Dana was working the table with, figuring out the tickets, and the live auction took in over 16,000. The donations coming in beforehand were at almost 16,000. So money was flying. Very generous public, and our PTO did an outstanding job. Food was good. Crowd was reasonable and comfortable in the space, and it was all the things you try to plan for. And the event, all the prizes, the auction items were just great, very generous
It
to get
was
us to this
amazing.
point. So
Really, they run it perfectly.
Yeah,
Just the way
it
it's
was done
spread
very well.
out and, yeah.
staff, we had great staff participation. About 80% of our staff attended or helped in some way, which is great, and just good buy-in all around. So, and of course, we roll it into Ag Week. So here we are. We will have the tractors here tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow. Today was cold. Tomorrow should be warmer. So tractors tomorrow, we're hoping. And each day this week we have different ag things planned, courtesy of Jenny Waldron. Awesome human being there getting things set for us. We have an assembly on Friday. It's a fun week for the kids. A lot of pride in this ag-based community. Winter athletics, we had basketball, cheer, kind of wrap up fully, and now we've got volleyball, which is playing. We took second. That's okay. Good job. We've lost to
Second place
Wheatland.
is the first
Okay,
loser.
they are the first losers, but that's okay. We had a great season for boys volleyball. Just found out we took second place.
That's
So,
awesome.
and the girls took third in our division, so that was good. They wrapped up their season as well. Forensics, I think, is tomorrow night, which Miss Marty can talk about. I'm stealing her thunder. And then state solo ensemble was, I think, last weekend. We're figuring out all the scores for our kids, and we'll report those out and celebrate our students that performed at state solo ensemble here locally. So, been busy. And spring break is coming this coming week. A lot of people getting out of town, so enjoy yourselves. I'm not. It's okay. I'll be here if you need me. But looking forward to some time just to be able to reset a little bit, because then we have the big push through June. So it's really it goes very quickly downhill here. So otherwise, everything else is going great.
Okay, Miss Marty.
Okay, just to piggyback, the snow day really kind of wreaked havoc on this last week of school and all the things that we have scheduled before break. So the biggest thing is forward testing. So we started that today. We were going to start it on Monday. It goes it's actually 4 weeks in total. So we start with ELA this week, then we do social studies, science, and then math. So everyone 3rd through 8th grade takes it. 4th and 8th grade take every subject. The others take just math and ELA. So I ordered the mints. PTO's paying for the mints. Every kid gets a mint for every test. They look really, if you don't have them, they really give you a hard
It's a
time.
giant box of mints.
It's a biggest box of mints you've ever seen. Okay, forensics meet here tomorrow night. Thank you, Mike. Jennifer Hansen has been helping me with that, and we have a full team this year, about 15 kids. We're hosting it. I've never done that before. We'll see how it goes.
How many
But we
schools
have a
are
really,
participating?
Who?
How many schools?
Oh, 5. So it's Drought, us, North Cape, Yorkville, Washington Caldwell, and Union Grove. Yep. So it's very exciting. As I walk around, I see some very cool things going on in some classrooms, and I just, in STEAM, they were making transistor radios, actually even soldering them. So Zoe was out there doing it and had the kids.
That's awesome.
And today I caught a kid listening to his transistor radio. And I thought, I'm not even going to get mad about that, right? Instead of being on the computer, so it was pretty cute.
They're that desperate for streaming, aren't
Yeah,
they?
I know, because I cut off their music on the thing, so anyway. So there's always cool things going on like that, but I thought that one was really neat. We're working on summer school scheduling. Registration forms have gone out. I think we've already got about 35 kids in just a couple days, so That'll be open till the end of April, hoping to beat last year's numbers. This year we have a space theme. So we haven't had a theme in a couple of years. We're trying to bring it back a little bit. And then we will be, math pilot is almost over. We are meeting on the 31st to make our selection for recommendation. So teachers have worked really hard on this. I will schedule then curriculum meeting in April, and then we'll come to the full board after that. So that's really about it.
Okay, great, thank you both. Board comments?
Mike, I got a question.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the last senior breakfast? I seen a note today that
Yes.
not breakfast.
Yes, our last senior breakfast is April 1st, April Fool's Day. It's not a joke. We are having our kindergartners present and do something with their classes. And with our kindergartners having 46 of them, that's a lot, there's just so many. So with 46, if everyone brings one adult or a person, that's 100 people. So we're looking to just get an RSVP from our kindergarten families and our normal attendees, because not every attendee is a kindergarten grandparent, so, or community member. So we may have a large group. It'll be a lunch, and so, well, midday, sort of a brunch lunch. We usually do burgers and hot dogs and other sort of barbecue fare for that event. The students will grill. We're probably going to hold it in our gym, that's my guess, because it's during the school day at 10:45, so we're lunching in here with children. So with that large number, we're probably looking at the gym space, atrium space as our serving and eating area. So that's what we're hoping for. So any parents or grandparents that want to attend that event on April 1st, just 2 weeks away,
Yeah. What time is that at?
10:45.
Okay.
So thank you for bringing that up. Kind of special, cool, but once you involve kindergarten, it's 50 people immediately.
I fill out the form, that's how I knew.
You filled it out? Good job, all right.
Thanks for explaining it better than my wife did today, because she just said we were gonna be here on the 1st for something to do for Grandparents' Day.
There you go.
Okay. Okay. Any other comments?
I'll just piggyback real quick too. I know you guys are probably gonna say it too, but the PTO, you cannot stress enough how good that was on Saturday or Sunday. As you said, there was about 80% of the teachers here. I don't think I've ever seen that much of the staff and I think this is my third or fourth one going to now. And it was like everywhere you looked, it was either the teachers or the administration. Everyone was out there, front and center. And it was just a really, I mean, we had fun sitting there eating, talking, getting into the raffles. And I even got to steal a raffle from Miss Jennifer over there because she kind of wanted this. And this was one of the raffle items with a $25 gift card for
So you had to wear
Harley.
it here to put it in my face.
I did kind of have to run it in, and I also wanted to support the PTO and show them that we appreciate all the stuff that they did.
All right, thank you, Mike. Kenny?
Oh, yes, piggyback on the PTO thing, amazing. I also wanted to miss Mrs. Marty, that Tanner is requesting the first math pilot, not the second.
Okay, thank you. I will write that down.
He knows what he likes. That's it.
Yes, he said the first one was much easier than
Oh, well.
the second. I said, I'll let her know.
Which one has the boxes? Is that the second one?
He's past the box thing, so I don't know.
Talk about that in curriculum.
What they're doing right
That
now
one I
is
didn't
brilliant.
You don't care for the boxes?
I did not like the
No
boxes.
debt.
Oh,
No
yeah, I
boxes.
know. I think that was, yeah.
Hard pass on the
No
boxes.
boxes.
No boxes.
boxes.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
Anybody else? If not, I will piggyback also regarding the PTO. It was very well attended. That room was full the entire time. There were a lot of people, a lot of kids. I had my doubts looking at the weather forecast, what was going to happen, but God was good. He just gave us some rain, so that wasn't too bad. But I do have one gripe, and that's to you, Mr. Leach.
Yes.
Where was the spirit wear?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
yes.
told her that was the phone.
Boy, there's the door. We can work on spirit wear. There we go.
Yeah.
Sell the
I went,
swag.
that was one of the reasons I came, because I forget all the time, and I know that the last couple of years you've had things that we could buy there, sweatshirts, t-shirts.
I think Audrey just nominated herself to run the spirit wear
I
for the
think she did.
PTO.
That. Next year
Dana-
is her.
I asked Dana, and she told me I should jump on yours.
Busted you out.
See where this is going. That's good.
As usual.
Yes, we certainly can do that next year.
Okay, do we have any announcements or correspondence besides future meetings? No? Correspondence?
I do have a question. Is there anything going on for the kids that are not going on vacation next week? Any kind of open gym or anything that can be done during the day?
School-wise here?
Well, like to come and, if weather's bad, if we
Well,
can.
people can sign out the gym if the gym's
Okay.
available, like, there are a lot of teams that are practicing. There are some staff, very, very minimal staff here that week because they're off.
Right.
Or taking vacation. I'm not. So you're asking me to watch Tanner next week? No.
Yes.
So
I'm on
we're gonna, tell him we're gonna do
vacation,
the new math, not the old math,
Then he won't.
anyway.
You're leaving
So,
town?
we don't have a lot available, but people certainly could contact for usage if there is any facility, but I think a lot of it's booked up through teams. It's almost baseball season, so a lot
Right.
of teams are starting to ramp up next week.
Okay. So our next regular board shop, let me back that up. Our next workshop meeting is Monday, April 6th at 5:30 PM. And our regular board meeting, God willing, will be Monday, April 20th at 6:30 PM. At this time, we are going to entertain a closed session pursuant to section 19.86, 19.851, C, E, and 111.74, 2 Wisconsin statutes. The board will meet to discuss potential salary adjustments and/or benefits for individual employees of the certified staff and/or support staff. The board may also discuss supplemental compensation that may be offered to individual employees. The board will meet in the office conference room, and we plan to adjourn immediately following the closed session discussion. Discussion of individual teacher contracts and compensation for 2026, 2027 school year, and this is not an action item. Is there a motion to move this closed?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to move to closed session. Natalie, will you do a roll call vote, please?
Ed Robinson,
Yes?
Jennifer Gonzalez.
Yep.
Mike Powers,
Yes.
Audrey Costick,
Yes.
Keith Kassenson.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Natalie.
We are now enclosed. Thank you for coming. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Jeff.
For showing up.
So is this something that,
It's just another method of evaluating somebody.
what, have you used this before?
Yeah.
Oh, at work, okay, so it's an engineering thing?
Yeah, I mean,
I read it and I didn't like it.
obviously the topic's got to be something different, but you're over here, you know, where
All right, Mike's.
Let's,
Can I turn this off?
Turn it on the back of the amp. On the back of the amp is a switch. Let me see. I got to stop the camera here.